I lived up in Sudbury at the time, up north, and it's where we both lived, and we were at a park in the evening. It was, late at night, and we were having a couple of drinks, had a couple of beers, but we just wanted, just some alone time, and we just wanted to talk. We had a close enough friendship that, there's nothing we wouldn't do for each other. He was feeling a bit down that night, and I said, well, let's just go have a beer and we'll talk. It was an evening that will stand out in my mind for a very long time because it was just an evening of friendship. It was, a cold evening, and we were just looking up at the northern lights and looking at the stars. I think a lot of times it was like brother and sister. Other times it was just like confidant. It was just before I met my husband, and it was all in the stars. It was just him and I just hanging out and not having anybody to answer to. I had some of his close friends say, like you were the love of his life. It just never happened that, we were both single at the same time. There was always somebody in the mix somewhere. He looked at me, and it's Italian, right? I don't speak Italian, but in Italian, he said to me, I love you, I need you, and I want you. And those were some of the last words he ever spoke to me. And they were just always words that stuck with me. A few months later, I did meet my current husband, or my only husband, and he was from Burlington. So we met, and it was very, very fast. And I just, we said, well, come move down to Burlington. And within a month of my meeting, I did. I had heard through the grapevine, upset with that. But he was seeing someone at the time, and it wasn't out of the norm, for us to be seeing different people. I got a call from a mutual friend who said, basically, I have something really bad to tell you. I got a call from a mutual friend who said, basically, I have something really bad to tell you. She knew the close friendship we had. What I didn't realize was that I had friends who actually drew straws to have to be the one to tell me that he had passed. So, of course, my dearest friend, being my dearest friend, said, okay, I'll do it, and called me and told me he had died, and I thought, I don't believe you. He was an avid outdoor person, loved to snowmobile, and Sudbury's full of lakes and trails. He was out on a lake one night close to the shoreline in his snowmobile, stopped working. So, of course, all the lights went out on the machine, and he got out just to try to see what was wrong, try to get it started up again. And another snowmobiler came from the other direction and hit him. My best friend in the whole world, her husband just happened to be working with a maintenance crew at the cemetery. He arranged for me to go down where they were storing the caskets. I didn't get to go to the funeral because of the weather. We had so many snowstorms in January that year. And up north, you can't bury somebody. It would be well into May before you could even attempt to dig. It was the first time I grieved really hard. I really broke down. I just couldn't get past it. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time I heard a song that was familiar to me with, of a memory, it's just something I'd have to play the song. Play it again, relive that memory. You just start dwelling. And I had to find a way to snap out of it, and it just wasn't happening. I was working one day. I would waitress for just a few hours during the day. Being new to Burlington was a good way for me to meet people in the community. It was only about between 1 and 2 in the afternoon, and it was very slow. Like, there was nobody at all in the building, aside from myself and the bartender and the chef at the back. And I turned around, and when I turned around, this man was there. I don't recall him coming in. Just really didn't give it much thought. He was just there. And I kind of got taken back because he was a dead ringer for my friend. I mean, dead ringer. Just looked slightly different. But it was enough. I'm feeling a very familiar energy. And he asked, if I would sit for a moment before he placed his order. I said, okay. And he started just talking to me. He said, I was recently in a really bad accident. And I've got tears welling in my eyes. I know something's coming. I was just so in awe and taken back at what I was seeing. This man came into the restaurant. I don't recall him coming in. He was just there. I kind of was taken aback because he could have been what they call a doppelganger, like he was my friend. And he asked, if I would sit for a moment before he placed his order. I said, okay. He took my hand and he put it on his face, like the back of my hand on his face, like this. Now, my friend, I always used to joke around with him because he had such soft skin. And I'd say, your skin is like soft as a baby's behind. And it was an ongoing joke because for a man, you expect a woman to have soft skin, but he had super soft skin. So when I felt the skin, I already knew in my heart that this was him. I felt it, I knew it, I recognized that energy, I just knew. And then I felt the skin and I pulled my hand back, tears kind of welled up in my eyes. And he looked at me and he said, are you happy? And I'm like, yeah, very happy. And he said, did you get married? Well, I never told him I got married because we hadn't talked. It was all so fast. And I said, yes. And he said, are you really happy? I said, yes. He said, that's good. You have to move on. I'm okay. Because I'm really okay. And you have to move on now. And I almost felt like my legs wanted to give out from under me. But I knew. I knew. With that said, I turned around and went to get him a coffee. And I just broke down blubbering and, oh my God, it just, for him just to come out with that out of nowhere, this person I'd never met before in this physical world, obviously, because it's still computing with me. And I'm really having a visitation. Just wanted to, get myself together. And I walked over to the bar, to pour a cup of coffee. I was facing, that side of the bar where I could see the door because I didn't want him to see me cry. So I turned around to bring the coffee, and there was nobody there. There was no other exit he could have gotten out of. And I saw nobody leave. It's amazing when something like that happens to you, all the questions that come to your mind after the fact. Why didn't I say this? Why didn't I ask this? Why didn't I just hug him? Why didn't I, what if, why? I started having all that run through my head. You feel yourself just wanting more. I was grateful for what I had. I would have loved more, but I'm just eternally grateful for what I have. And we had our alone time once again, one last time. I needed it, that's for sure. Did he need it? I don't know. Maybe it was closure for both of us.